Assalamualaikum students. Hope you all are doing well. There are some important landmarks that you should know. These landmarks are of very much importance. So let's start our discussion. Okay, here we have table of content in which we would be discussing about the cusp, the tubercle, and then we will see what is cingulum, what are the ridges and their locations, what are fossas, sulcus, grooves, and at the end we will discuss what are pits. Okay, let's start with the cusp. In simple words, we can define a cusp as an elevation, which is present on the occlusal surface of the tooth. Occlusal surface is that surface which will come in contact when you close your jaws to the opposite jaw, right? And it is basically dividing the primary parts of the tooth, making divisional parts on the occlusal surface. As you can see in this picture, this is the longitudinal section of the tooth, showing this is the crown portion of the tooth, right? Here is the elevation on the occlusal surface. This is the occlusal surface of the tooth, right? Here is an elevation. This elevation is called as cusp, which is dividing the primary parts of the tooth, right? It is present on the occlusal surface of the tooth. Next, we have another picture. As you can see in this picture, here we have a cusp, here we have a cusp, right? These are the dividing structures of primary parts of the tooth. This is the occlusal surface shown in this figure. This is the premolar, basically the first maxillary premolar, showing two cusps. This is the buccal cusp, this is the lingual cusp, dividing the occlusal surface into buccal and lingual cusp, buccal and lingual parts, right? Next, we have tubercle. Basically, tubercle is an extra formation of enamel. It is not a normal condition. It is an unusual condition, which is due to the extra formation of enamel. It is mostly located on the lingual surface of the tooth, mostly seen in lateral incisors, maxillary lateral incisors, right? Over there, it is present near the cingulum, right? I would be discussing what is cingulum in the next slides. So for here, just look at there. Here we have tubercle, that is the extra formation of enamel present on the lingual surface of lateral incisors. Right. So what is cingulum? Cingulum is basically a rounded elevation on the lingual surface. As we have learned that cusp is an elevation, right? Cingulum is rounded elevation, right? Cusp was present on the occlusal surfaces, right? But cingulum is present on the lingual surface. Lingual surface is that surface which is facing towards the tongue, right? So cingulum is present on the lingual surface and it is a rounded elevation, right? As you can see in this picture, here we have a rounded elevation. Here we have a rounded elevation. Here is the cervical line. This is the distal aspect of the tooth shown. This is the lingual aspect of the tooth shown, right? Here we have a cingulum, that is the rounded elevation of the tooth near the cervical line, just adjacent to the cervical line, right? Here we have a cingulum, rounded elevation. As you can see, cingulum is basically a characteristic of anterior tooth. It is located in the anterior tooth near the cervical line on the lingual surface of the tooth, right? Here we have some ridges, right? Ridge is basically a linear elevation, right, found on the surface of the tooth. We have some marginal ridges as well, right? There are some types of ridges, one of which is marginal ridge. Marginal ridge, as its name is indicating, that marginal ridges are present on the margins of the tooth, making the boundaries of the tooth, right? Here we have a marginal ridge, here we have a marginal ridge, right? The marginal ridge near the mesial surface would be termed as mesial marginal ridge. The marginal ridge present on the or near the distal surface would be termed as distal marginal ridge, right? As you can see in this picture, this is the lingual surface of the tooth is shown. Here we have a marginal ridge, right, making the boundaries of the tooth. If we talk about posteriors, in anteriors we have marginal ridges present on the lingual surface, the surface which is facing towards the tongue. In posteriors, we have marginal ridges on the occlusal surface, the surface which will come in contact to the opposite jaw when you clench the teeth, right? When you close the jaws of yours, right? So here is the marginal ridge with, this is the marking of the marginal ridge with color, right? Here we have the marginal ridge, here we have the marginal ridges. These are the medial and distal marginal ridges, right? Here we have the blue color. In blue color we have marginal ridges, medial and distal marginal ridges. The medial is towards the medial surface and distal would be towards the distal surface. Okay, next we have some triangular ridges, right? So they are characteristic landmarks of posterior teeth, which are premolars and molars. Triangular ridges are not present in anterior teeth, right? Triangular ridges is that it descends from the tip of the cusp. It is descending from the tip of the cusp towards the center part of the occlusal surface, right? The occlusal surface, and it would be having slopes on each side, right? So it would be forming a sort of a kind of triangle, right? From the tip of the cusp to the occlusal surface, right? And having slopes on each side, making a triangular structure. So that's why it is termed as triangular ridges. Then we have a transverse ridge, right? Transverse ridge is basically formed by the union of two triangular ridges, means the two triangular ridges are meeting and forming a transverse ridge, right? It is basically a crossing, or can say transverse, like a diagonal shape. It is present in posterior teeth, right? Transverse ridges are present in posterior teeth. Posterior teeth are premolars and molars, right? So as you can see in this picture, here we have a triangular ridge. Here we have a triangle, as you can see in this picture. The same tooth, right? This is the triangular ridge. Here we have the triangular ridge. These two triangular ridges are meeting and forming a transverse ridge, as you can see in this picture, right? Forming a transverse ridge. Here you can see a transverse ridge. The union of two triangular ridges and a diagonal, right? Transversely. So it would be forming a transverse ridge. It is a characteristic feature of posterior tooth. Then next we have oblique ridge, right? Here is the dick. Here is oblique ridge. This is the transverse ridge. Here is the oblique ridge. So here we have oblique ridge shown in this picture. It is present on the occlusal surface of maxillary molars. It is a characteristic feature of maxillary molars. It is present on the maxillary molars occlusal surface. It will form by the union of triangular ridge of distobuccal cusp, right? Here we have a distobuccal cusp. Distobuccal means distal side and buccal means buccal. So distal side का buccal side का जो cusp होगा ये distal side है, right? And here we have the buccal side. So this one is the distobuccal cusp. Here we have distal side, right? This is the palatal side, or can say the lingual side in general. So that this would be distolingual or distopalatal cusp, right? Same as it is. This is the buccal aspect. Here we have the mesial side. So this cusp will be termed as mesiobuccal cusp, right? So it will form by the union of triangular ridge of distobuccal cusp, triangular ridge of distobuccal cusp, and by the distal cuspal ridge of the mesiolingual cusp. This is the distal cuspal ridge of mesiolingual cusp. Mesiolingual, or can say mesiopalatal. Mesiopalatal, if we specifically talking about the maxilla, then we will use the term mesiopalatal. Otherwise, in general, we will call it as mesiolingual cusp, right? So it will form by the union of triangular ridge of distobuccal cusp and distal cusp of mesiolingual, distal cuspal ridge of mesiolingual cusp, right? Here the discussion ends on the ridges. The another important landmark is fossa. We will discuss it later, but just for review, let's see. Here we have marginal ridges that are present on the margins, making the boundaries of the tooth, right? Here we have a transverse ridge, right? Formed by the union of two triangular ridges. Here we have an oblique ridge formed by the union of distobuccal cusp and the distal cuspal ridge of the mesiolingual cusp, right? So these for the bridges. Next we have fossas, right? Fossa is basically kind of depression, a concavity, right? We have lingual fossa and incisors on the lingual surface, right? If we look at the incisor tooth, then we would find that there would be a central fossa present on the lingual surface, as you can see in this picture. Here we have, there. Here's a concavity or depression. This is called the lingual fossa, right? This is the incisor tooth, maxillary incisor, right? Here we have lingual fossa, that is a concavity or depression present, right? Actually, they are formed by the ridges that are terminating at the central point in the bottom, right? There are also some central fossa as well, as you can see in this picture, right? Here we have a central fossa, a depression in the center of the occlusal surface will termed as central fossa, right? Then we have distal triangular fossa and mesial triangular fossa. This is also a fossa or depression, but it is of triangular shape. Here you can see triangular fossa. We have marked with purple color, as you can see there. Here's a hollowed out depressions. Here is a depression, triangular fossa. In this picture, you can appreciate it more better. Here we have triangular fossa, right? Here we have triangular fossa, making a triangle. So we have triangular fossa as well. It is located on the occlusal surface of the molars and premolars. It is located on the lingual surface of the anteriors, especially in incisors. It is very much pronounced and prominent. It is found near the mesial or distal marginal ridges. Mesial or distal marginal ridges, right? Next, we have a sulcus, right? Sulcus is basically a long depression on the occlusal surface of the tooth. Occlusal surface. This picture is showing the occlusal surface of the tooth, right? Here we have cusps shown over there, right? Here you can see, here is a long depression. This depression is termed as sulcus, right? This is the long depression found on the occlusal surface of the tooth. It is termed as the sulcus, right? Then we have some grooves, right? Some developmental grooves, and we have some supplemental grooves as well. Let's discuss first some developmental grooves. They are shallow grooves, right? They are present between the primary parts of the crown or the root, and they are dividing the primary parts of the tooth, right? They are dividing the cusps of the tooth, as you can see in this picture, right? In red color, we have the developmental groove. These are the shallow grooves. These are dividing the primary parts as this is the distobuccal, mesiobuccal, here we have mesiopalatal or mesiolingual. Then here we have distopalatal cusp, right? So it is dividing the primary parts. Primary parts are basically these cusps are the primary parts, right? So these grooves are dividing the primary parts of the tooth on the occlusal surface, right? So if we talk about the supplemental grooves, right, they are the linear depressions, right? It is supplemental to developmental grooves and are not marking the junctions of the primary parts. They are just supplemental grooves, right? They are not marking any division of the primary parts of the tooth, right? These blue color depressions are supplemental grooves. These are the supplemental grooves. These all are the supplemental grooves shown in this picture. Then next we have pit, right? That is a small pinpoint depression where developmental grooves join, right? Here we have a pit, as you can see, this is a pinpoint depressions, right? Here we have marginal ridges. Here we have lingual fossa, right? Here we have a pit, right? Small pinpoint depression where developmental grooves are joining. Here we have pits in brown color. We have marked with brown colors, right? Here we have pits. Here we have pits. Joints, developmental grooves are joining over there, forming a pit here. This is the pit point. This is the pit point. Here we have a pit. Here we have a pit point, right? Same. And here we have a pit. Here we have a pit, right? So now let's move towards the lobes. What are lobes? The lobe is one of the primary part of which will form the or which will start the formation or the development of the crown, right? From where the development of crown begins or crown occurs is the lobe, right? The cusps and mamelons are basically representing the lobes. We have discussed cusps earlier, that are the elevations found on the occlusal surface are cusps. Mamelons are the next terminology which we would be discussing in the next slide. So lobes are basically the primary parts from where the development of crown occurs. Here we have lobes, right? Here we have a lobe. These are the lobes, right? Mesiofacial lobe. Mesio means towards the mesial side. Disto means towards the distal surface. Facial means towards the lips, right? Here we have the central lobe, right? So next, we have the mamelons. What are mamelons? They are actually the rounded protuberance located on the incisal ridges. It can be seen more clearly on newly erupted incisors. The mamelons are generally considered as a feature of permanent incisors, right? They are the feature of permanent incisor. When the permanent incisor erupts, they are usually having this characteristic mamelons present on their surface, which later on, due to abrasions, get smooth or get straighter, right? So they are actually the rounded protuberances which would be located on the incisal ridges of the incisors, right? They are characteristic feature of incisor teeth. Now let's see which type of root is present in tooth, right? So if we talk about anteriors, in both maxillary and mandibular incisors, a single root is present, right? And in maxillary first premolar, a bifurcated root can be seen. In maxillary second premolar, it is also having a single root is found, right? So as you can see in this picture, this is a picture of anterior tooth having a single root, right? All four incisors and two canines in the upper and as well as in the mandible as well, it would be having single root, right? From canine to canine, it would be having single root, right? But if we talk about the premolar, so first maxillary premolar will be having bifurcated root, right? As shown in this picture, this is the picture of first permanent premolar of maxillary premolar showing bifurcated root. The second maxillary, first premolar, second maxillary premolar will be having single root. First premolar is having bifurcated and second premolar will be having single root of maxilla. But in mandible, both first premolar and second premolar will be having single root, right? There won't be any sort of bifurcation found in the mandibular premolar, right? Here we have maxillary molars that would be showing trifurcated roots, right? So in maxillary molars, all three molars, first, second, and third, we would be having three roots, right? So if we talk about the maxilla only, from incisors to canines, right? Incisors and canines would be having single root. Then first premolar will be having two roots. Then second premolar would be having only one root. Then molars 1, 2, and 3, first, second, and third would be having three roots. All three would be having three roots, right? If we talk about mandibular molars, so there would be bifurcation found. In mandible, from premolar to premolar means incisors, canines, and premolars, all two premolars would be having single rooted tooth, right? But in mandibular molars, we would be having bifurcated root or two roots found, right? Thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, then do subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.